The fastest stars per minute method is by solving the hard arrow puzzle. All credit for this method goes to a Reddit user with the username that I won't try to pronounce, but it's spelled Fabrixe, and I'll put the link to the original Reddit post in the description. I've taken his method and put it into a flowchart. It looks daunting, but honestly, once you do this, not even 10 times, it will be intuitive and you won't need to refer back to the flowchart. It'll just be in your head. So the first thing you want to do is save up at least 150 stars. And if you navigate to the gift icon in the bottom, you want to purchase the arrow puzzle. I know it's expensive, 150 stars. You think there's a lot better things I can spend that on in the early game in Exponential Idle, but I promise you, you'll make that 150 stars back and much more as you progress. So I will purchase the puzzle, and what we're interested in doing is the hard puzzle. The number of stars that you'll earn per puzzle completed varies based on how far you've progressed through Exponential Idle. At the beginning, I think 14 stars is near the minimum, if not the minimum. But I'm playing through a game on my iPhone. This is my iPad that I am currently recording because of the bigger screen, so I can use the pencil for demonstration. But on my iPhone game, I'm up to maybe 160 stars per finished puzzle on hard. So if we choose hard, by default, you're going to get this view with the arrows. I think this is more difficult to interpret and see, and so if you click on the settings cog on the bottom right, you want to change the display mode to numbers. What this is going to give you instead is 1s and 2s. The goal of this game is to make all of the numbers in this grid a 1, get rid of all the 2s. So if we look at our flowchart, the first thing we want to do is solve columns 1, 2, and 3. Every time we're solving a column, we only want to access the values in the column to the right of what we're trying to solve. The first column we want to solve is column 1 with 4 values in it, which are 2, 2, 1, 1. So again, to solve this first column, I only want to access and tap the values in column 2. So I know that if I tap this 1, it's going to change the values all around it. So these two 2s will change to 1s. Perfect, I've now solved column 1. I'm going to solve column 2 now. I see 2 2s here, so I'm going to click on this value, which is going to now solve column 2. Let's do the same thing with column 3. Great. Now I am at column 4. If we look at the flowchart, I need to count the number of 2s that are in column 4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is an odd number. Therefore, what I need to do is to tap each value. What that's going to do, it's not going to impact anything to the left of column 4, but what it's going to do is it's going to give me now an even number of 2s in column 4. See, now I have 4 2s in column 4. So I can solve this, again, only by tapping the column to the right. I've now solved columns 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the next step is to count the number of 2s in column 5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is an odd number. Therefore, what I need to do is tap each value in column 2. I know it sounds strange to go back to this column that we already solved, but if we tap each value in this column and solve back to column 5, these will now be even, which is what we want. So I'm going to tap each value, and that's going to mess up some of what we've already done, but I can easily solve this and solve column 4 again. Now, if we count the number of 2s in column 5, we have an even number, which is what we want. So I'm going to solve that. Now we look at column 6. We need to count how many number 2s are in column 6. We have an odd number of 2s. We have 3 2s. So in order to fix that, we need to go back and tap every value in column 3. Again, sounds counterintuitive. Going backwards is going to mess up some of what we did. But now when we solve ahead, this is going to make our column 6 have an even number. And if we solve column 6 now only by tapping cells in the right, solving column 6 will solve the puzzle. And that example I just went through was a worst case scenario because I needed to go back and tap each value in column 2 and tap each value in column 3 because I had an odd number in those cells. In an ideal game, you wouldn't need to do that and your solve time would be much quicker. The Reddit user says that he solves each puzzle in at most 22 seconds, and I'm not quite there. Probably the longest puzzles for me when I need to go back and resolve all those columns or make those columns 5 and 6 from odd to even, it might take me 40 seconds. I'll go through one more after claiming my stars. Again, we're starting with the leftmost column, and let's change those to all ones. Now with column 2, let's fix those and change those to all ones. Column 3. Column 4 has an even number, so we do not need to tap each value. Column 5 has an even number, so we don't need to tap each value. We can solve it. But column 6 does, in fact, have an odd number of 2's in it, so we need to tap each value in column 3. Solve that. Solve column 4. Solve column 5 again. And now column 6 has an even number of 2's, and we can solve that for all ones, which will in turn solve column 7, and we've solved the puzzle.